From the studios of the Richmond Register, it's this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. Every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, Richmond Register Sports Editor Nathan Hutchinson and Richmond Register Sports Writer Ricky Barker will talk about this week in Madison County sports. Welcome to the show.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
All right, well, welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. I am Richmond Register Sports Editor Nathan Hutchinson, and as always, this is Richmond Register Sports Writer Ricky Barker. And we're heading into an exciting part of the season here. I got some fall sports wrapping up. District play starts in football. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
I've been keeping you busy, haven't I? I made you work a lot this
Too
week.
much. You've worked me too hard. I need a break.
Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and we got some special guests as well. So we'll kind of roll through this pretty quick. But we do have both the soccer district championships were last week, and we have both of the championship teams here with us tonight. The Madison Central girls, they won their 8th straight, so we have Coach Charlie Hamilton. And Madison Whitaker and Savannah Segler, a pair of seniors from them. And Madison Southern boys won their 2nd straight district title. And we have Samuel Lee and Francisco Aguilar and their coach Andrew Lunsford on as well. So we'll have all those people on here in a bit. But we want to give you a quick little recap of what happened. We had the district soccer. It was a great environment over there. That's a big crowd,
yes,
local
it was.
crowd.
Not enough to put them in the stands. Too many people had to sit on the ground.
Yeah, both games were decided by 1 goal. And
yes.
Very, very exciting atmosphere. And that kind of gets me, I wanted to kind of go off on a tangent for a little bit here. Because there was great crowds there.
Mm-hmm.
I had a great crowd for Southern football on Friday night. I was over at Berea Community on Friday night. Great crowds there. I just wanted to support, just encourage everyone to go out and support local sports. These schools, they charge admission, obviously, and that's where they make some money off of that, and it kind of helps with their programs and stuff like that. But if you like local sports, if you want to support local sports, please come out. It's usually only $5 or $6 or something to get in. It's not very much. But I know some of these games are on television or YouTube or the internet or whatever, but, come on out, support the teams, support the kids, and it's a lot of fun anyway. I mean, some of it's pretty intense. I mean, with the crowds
yes.
and you get those rivalry games, and it's pretty intense. But don't sit home. If you want to come out, I know it's getting a little chillier. Put on a jacket, come on out and support these kids and the schools. And the money goes right back into the programs, and it helps everybody. So please, if you can, come on out. I know a lot of people can't, a lot of older folks or whatever. So if you need to sit home and listen to it on the radio or whatever, that's fine. And we always keep you updated on Twitter as well, yes. Richmond R Sports on Twitter. So if you can't come out, you can always check it out there. But we definitely encourage you to come out and check it out.
Yeah, the players really appreciate the big crowds. It gets them pumped up.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was great all weekend. All week and in the weekend there were big crowds everywhere, and it's fun. And we had a lot of stuff going on since we were last here. We had the high school boys golf championship. We had a couple Madison Central players there. Freshman Clay Pendergrass finished 17th. He had him and sophomore Cooper Everly were both tied for 35th after the first round, and that was on Friday. And on Saturday, Clay shot up. He shot a plus 274, shot up a couple of 18 spots and finished 17th. So Cooper tied for 59th. He shot a plus 1884, and so he had he tied for 35th. So he had a good run as well. Both those kids will be back for a couple more years to go, and I think lots of good things to come from them. Clay was 4th last year as an 8th grader.
Wow.
So he's already had a couple of top 20 finishes at the state tournament and he's only a 9th grader. So, and to go on to, we'll flip over to football on Friday night. We had the full scope of all 3 teams were in action. 2 at home, 1 on the road. You were at Madison Southern, and they picked up a big district win. Tell us all about
their biggest win of the season. Yeah, they came back home and just crushed it. I mean, they defeated an old foe, Woodford County, 40-7, limited them to just 1 touchdown in the 2nd quarter. The defense really stepped up for them. They went into, they really picked up some yards in the rushing game, so they did really well. Tobias Storms had 2 touchdown passes and 74 yards rushing. A.J. Jones just caught on fire. That kid could not be stopped. He had 8 rushes for 164 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 touchdown catch. Walt Smith had a touchdown catch and a touchdown run. And Jackson Chambers had 2 interceptions, almost had 3, but he got 2, definitely. And that makes them 4-3 for the season, and 2-1 in district now. So they got 2 district wins.
Yep, head on the road this week to a winless West Jessamine team. So hopefully 3-1 in district, but you never know. You go on the road.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but congrats to those guys. And like I said, Walt Smith with 2 touchdowns there, and Albrook across town. Unfortunately, things didn't go as well. Berea Community had won 7 straight. We're getting some statewide attention buzz. They're ranked just outside the top 10 in the Class A poll. Came up against a really good Kentucky Country Day team. It was also undefeated. It was a big physical team. It was really impressive to see the size of those kids. But KCD 36-14 over Berea. Berea actually went up on them early. They got it. The Country Day got the ball, went right down the field. They fumbled it right about the goal line, and Berea came right back down. Jalen Whitaker scored on a sneak right at the beginning of the second quarter, and that lead held up until right before halftime. But unfortunately, 36 straight points from the Bearcats, and Timmy Thompson did get a touchdown catch late in the game to make it look a little more respectable. But that's a tough district there, and I mean KCD, Eminence, and Frankfort are all good teams, so it's going to be tough the next couple of weeks for them. The Berea does go to Eminence this week, and Eminence is 6-1. They beat Frankfort last week 60-30. So it's
high-scoring game.
Yeah, so it's going to be. It's a tough. Like I said, it's a really tough district, and they still have a chance to host a playoff game if they win. If they can win the last 2, they will. Like I said, they're at Eminence this week. They're home for Frankfort next week. So still a possibility there. They can have a home playoff game, and for all the fans down there in Berea, which they always show such great support. It's so much fun to be down there. And of course, Madison Central opened up district play last week, and things did not go very well. Up in Buckner against Oldham County, it was a cold, wet, rainy night. Or that cold front got there before it got to us, but it was just cold, rainy, nasty, and their offense just couldn't find anything. They ended up losing 28-0. They ended up with 2 first downs, both of which came very late in the game. Only 44 yards of total offense. It was just one of those. I guess those things just happen once in a while. But I mean, like I said, it was bad. It was bad weather conditions, but Oldham County played through the same conditions as well. So it's unfortunate, but they fall to 1-6 and 0-1 in the district, and they are going to be just up the road against the ancient rival of Clark County. I think those 2 teams have played each other every year since the Civil War or something. But what they used to call the Battle of the Bridge, where they used to have a big jug they would go back and forth. But and then Clark County, will be the first time we've gone over to that brand new, amazing facility they have over there. So that'll be nice to get over there. The field, I never went over there, but the field they used to play on was this horrible grass field back behind the school, and it was always just dank and wet and cold, and so thank goodness they're out of that thing, and we can move up the road. It's right off Athens-Burnsboro Road right there. So it's a short drive. If anybody wants to make the trip over, you can go over there and check it out. District volleyball is wrapping up. Actually, the tournament will be Monday and Tuesday over at Central. On Monday night, we'll have Southern versus Model and Central versus Berea. The 2 winners will play Tuesday night. The teams this week are kind of getting in their last little recaps, or last little game, tune-ups before the district. This week so far, Berea beat Lincamp 3-2 on Monday, and then they beat Barberville on Tuesday night, so they get a couple good wins. And you were at Southern last night, or Tuesday night. They wrapped up their regular season. Actually, they played tonight too.
They played tonight.
Yeah, but they picked up a pretty easy win over Bourbon County.
Yeah, they did. They had a long break, and it's fall break now. After they had their long winning streak busted by Lexington Catholic, but they came back full of fire against Bourbon County, swept them 3-0. Took them 3 sets, and they were gone.
Yeah, 23-4, and they had a 13-game winning streak until Lexington Catholic beat them in 5 sets. Madison Central wrapped up their regular season on Monday. They lost 3-1 to Bryan Station at home. Like I said, all those teams will play again Monday at Central, and then the top 2 will move on to the 11th region the week after that. Of course, we talked about it with a couple of the kids from Southern last week. The Southern girls have not won a district championship since 2005. And all those kids remember that very well. And
yes,
so
I do. Reminded every day.
Yes. So they are very eager to do that, and every time those teams play as well, just like with the soccer, it's just really competitive.
Battle.
So it'll be fun. So let's flash back to last Thursday, the 2 district championship games. We were both there.
Yes.
We started off with the boys. I mean, it was
It was Central Southern rivalry.
Yeah, it's intense. It's just, I mean, it's back and forth, and the game ends up really coming down to a PK.
Yeah, Francisco Aguilar came up with a win. Southern went out early and got two quick goals, but then Central was like, yeah, we can do that too, and scored two, kind of snuck two in on them, and Francisco was like, gosh, we thought we had lost. But they came back out. The Eagles came back out in the second half, got that PK, and got the win. Yeah,
3-2. It was Samuel Lee, Garrett Wickersham, and Francisco Aguilar had the goals for Southern, and the goals for Central were John Gordon and Chase Dale, with assists with Josh Deluse and Gavin O'Shea. Unfortunately, all of our Madison County teams lost Monday night in the first round of the 11th region. The Southern boys played the same team they played last year. They played in the 11th region, and they had lost. It was 1-0 to Dunbar in the semifinals last year. This time they played them in the first round, and 4-0 loss.
Yeah, it was a really physical game. Dunbar just came out and had 2 goals in 2 minutes. I mean, just back to back. And Southern in the second half they kind of picked it up. Pierce Meeks did a lot of good stuff for them, but just could not overcome that deficit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Monday night Central went up to Henry Clay, and they suffered a 4-1 loss that ended their season. So Southern ends up 12-6-3. Central at 11-7-4. So great seasons for both those teams.
Yeah.
It's just tough being in that 11th region and playing those Lexington schools. It's really difficult to even get past the first round. It's almost like a mini state tournament, and almost any sport, no matter what is volleyball, soccer, baseball, anything. It's just really tough. Now, the girls' side, we mentioned it briefly at the beginning, but Central Southern in the final for I guess it was the 7th time in the last 8 years. And every one of those games has been decided by 1 goal, and it was 1 goal again. It was 1-0 Central. And they really just, I mean, once again, just intense.
Yeah,
One
gosh.
of those nail-biting,
It was anybody's game for a good portion of it.
Yeah, it went back and forth and ended up being Callie Lloyd, a freshman who connected on a PK for the only goal of the game. She beat Sarah Mitchell on a PK, and that was it. I mean, there was good chances both ways, but that ended up being the only one that got in. That was Central's 8th straight district title for the girls. And of course, they went on to play Lexington Catholic on Monday. The Central girls did, and they came up short 5-0 over at Bellevue to them. So their season ended at 11-6-2. Southern, they took on Tate's Creek Monday night in the first round of the region over in Lexington. They ended up losing 5-0, so their season ended at 7-11-1. So it's unfortunate that all 4 of the high school soccer teams went out in the first round of the region, but they all had great seasons, and that's why we're very happy that we have some of those kids here tonight to talk about that and kind of recap the season and give them kind of the credit they're due. So. All right, we kind of be remiss if we don't talk about cross country a little bit. We haven't mentioned any cross country yet, but it's kind of one of those sports that kind of goes under the radar a lot of times. But we have 2 of the best cross country runners in the state here.
Oh
in
my
Richmond,
gosh, yeah.
And they just continue to win every race they get into, basically.
Just beasts.
Madison Central went up to the Haunted Woods Classic in Oldham County on Saturday, and the boys took the overall title. Connor O'Shea, just a senior as he's done all year. Like I said, I think he's won every race. Every in-state race he's been in this year, every high school race he's been in, but he set a new course record up there, rolled to the championship, and of course his little sister, just a freshman, Sierra O'Shea, she was the state champion last year, and she won again as well. I think she's won every in-state high school race she's been in this year as well. So they will have a week off, and then they'll have their region meet on October 22nd down in Monticello, and then after that they'll have the state meet, and there's a real possibility that they could, the 2 O'Shea brothers and the brother and sister could sweep the title. Like I said, she won last year as an 8th grader in dominating fashion. Yeah, and he was
way ahead of the competition.
Yeah, and he did very well as well. So they could sweep that championship. I mean, it's very, very possible. But so yeah, a lot of stuff going on, and we're very happy to have some soccer players with us here. Like I said, we will talk to them in just a minute. But like I said, we always want to say thank you to everybody. We appreciate you watching. We're kind of crunching the numbers, and we're kind of shocked at how many people actually watch our silly little show here.
Yes, thank you.
But we appreciate it, and like I said, we have a lot of fun with this, and it's great that
we have great jobs.
Monday night we went up to both of these Central girls and Southern boys afterwards, and I was kind of like, I didn't want to come on the show after they lost, but they were both like, yeah, we'd love to be here. So
thank you so much to our guests for doing that.
So we appreciate it. We appreciate the fact that, like I said, that you watch our little show here, and we're just proud that, like I said before, we are the only show that is 100% Madison County sports. We are totally dedicated to local Madison County sports. We don't waste your time with anything else. So if you want. So we just want to get these kids and
well,
these
there's
coaches.
A lot to highlight. We have a lot of good teams. I mean, we just went through a whole bunch of history-making seasons and course records being broken, and just why not highlight our local athletes that do so well?
Absolutely, that's what we're here for. Like I said, there's plenty to talk about, and we've talked enough. Let's get these kids in here and get some interviews.
Let them talk.
There might even be a special guest from outer space in here as well. So it's.
Well, I mean, Halloween's around the corner.
Yeah, you never know.
Did they go to Area 51? The Naruto run.
But you never know. We might have another a special guest, a little blue guy. So but we'll be right back with some interviews with some soccer players.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
We're here with Madison Southern soccer coach, Andrew Lunsford. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. So let's start off. Recently, Southern lost in the first round of the region. Fought really hard, so kind of take us through that game and what was coming in at you guys.
So in the 11th region soccer tournament, we always know that whoever we play, even if they're a district runner-up, it's going to be a tough game. And I think I told you at the beginning of the year that our inexperience was going to catch up to us at some point, and I think that was a game where we had some of our guys weren't as prepared as, mentally as what they probably should have been for a team like Dunbar. And it showed, and they scored 2 in the first 10 minutes, and it's very hard to catch up to a team like Dunbar down 2 goals that early.
Yeah, in the second half, your guys really dug in and had a chance, but I think they scored that other goal kind of like midway through. And
yeah, I mean, they're good. They can score. I think it was off of a corner kick,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's just a lot of bodies in the box, and they're dangerous anywhere on the field. You can't really just say we're going to stop them one way or the other. But coming out of the half, we really just challenged the guys to play the way we knew we could play, and I think it was a much more even game in the second half. It's just we gave them a 3-goal lead in the first half to start with that we couldn't come back from.
You faced them last season. You got your first 11th region win last season, but then you had to face Dunbar in the second round. So was that kind of like feeling kind of the same, or?
I would say that, even for the coaches, we had kind of thought, oh no, it's Dunbar again. Not oh no, but, anytime you get a team that's been as good as they have historically, you have to really prepare for that one as the best way you can. But last year's team and this year's team were so different, and losing so many starters off last year's team, like the guys who had experience from that game, I don't think they even thought of it as the same type of game, just because we were such a different team from last year to this year, even though Dunbar was the same from both years.
Yeah, last season it was 1-0, and this season they got a few more goals.
Yeah. Last season we had a good group of seniors who were 1-0 down. They don't hang their head, and they didn't come out really. Last year we just had a really bad error, and they scored early. Mm-hmm. But then we were able to pick ourselves up and play the whole game. But with the younger guys, it's always hard to do that.
Well, let's talk about the good things. The back-to-back 44th district champions. I mean, you got to feel really, really proud of your team to get that. I think it was 2002, 2003 last time Southern won back-to-back district championships.
Yeah, we were really excited. Once again, we knew through the games in the district, playing Central and Model in early September and late August, that the tournament could go any way, and Central really kind of peaked there at the end too. So we were really happy with the outcome, that it was in our favor. The boys played really hard, and in a game like that, you want to say like tactically, like I think the first half Central had us figured out, and the second half we had them figured out. But I think at the end of the day, what separated it was just our guys came together and had that determination to make sure we got an extra goal that they didn't get, and they keep them out once we had that lead.
Yeah, and senior Francisco got that crucial goal to make it 3-2 for you guys.
Yeah.
So, and Central kind of came back on you in that game. I think you guys took the 2-0 really quickly, and then they were able to score 2.
Yeah, and I think that was probably one of the craziest games of my coaching career, because Central had played better than us for the first 20 minutes, and then we scored 2 goals, and then in between the first and second goal, we played really well, and then they were able to work their way back into it from playing that hard the first half, and like I said, they kind of had us figured out there until halftime.
Now, you mentioned earlier about how the team from last season, when you were, it was your first year of coaching at Southern last year, and how they were kind of different when facing Dunbar. But to get back-to-back district championships, what the similarities were on those two teams?
We had, we had a few players who carried over from that were sophomores that are juniors now on this team, and a couple of seniors who had experience in both games. So the experience that they had being in those games was huge, but across the field, just technically, even the players that we lost last year and the players that we brought in this year, there wasn't a huge gap in the skill level. So we were really all year, and even in the district tournament, playing at a very high level, even though we lost so many skilled seniors.
I mean, you're kind of the history-making coach. You keep every season, it's like you guys accomplish something just even greater. You broke that really long district championship drought last season. Now it's back-to-back, and then you got your first 11th region win last season, and you're only in your second year. So kind of tell me how that transformation's kind of taken place, and what kind of led you to Southern and kind of get these guys up and rolling.
Well, the last 2 years, I mean, the coaches before me had put in a lot of work to get these guys to a point where they could be competing for district titles and in the region tournament. And both of them, one of the reasons that I wanted to come to Southern is in talking to everybody about the program and the situation, doing my research, is both coaches had done the best they could to leave the program in the best place that they could, or better that they had found it. And I think that was the case, and that when I came in, it was a really good mixture of, there was a really good team here already. The thing I tell everybody is that when I interviewed and was doing the research, I could not find anybody who could say anything bad about the school itself. So, from the teaching point and from the coaching point, it's probably the best situation you would want to be in as a coach and a teacher. And then we've tried to instill the style of soccer that I've coached, and we've been successful so far. And the Dunbar game might seem like a step back, but I don't think of it like that, because we really have gotten in a good young core of players now, and we're going to have some really experienced guys next year too that we're excited to see how this goes, 3 years, 4 years on. But it's really something that started 7 or 8 years ago with those coaches too.
Yeah, kind of talk to me about the players that have really kind of made a difference for you in the 2 years that you've been coaching, especially this year. The
thing that the players are who really stick out to me that have helped us with that transformation are the ones who are consistent. And I think that's if I've done anything, it's just to help make us more consistent. Chase Heshmi always has a stellar performance for us. Sam Lee, of course, I don't think he's ever played a bad game, or one that I can think of off the top of my head. No big game, certainly, or no district game. Francisco, he's been one of the consistent guys. A lot of the guys that were seniors this year and juniors, Pierce, Alex, those guys have seen. Zach Sadler, of course. Zach's always a very consistent player for us. Those guys were here, as freshmen, and they saw the program as 8th graders, and I think they kind of saw, hey, we could be something special down the road. So those guys putting the work in has gotten us to where we are now. Excellent. Kind of talk to me a little bit. I know when we talked about preseason, where a lot of people were like, you did too much. Yeah. How are you going to
go out and top what you continue to do. But I really liked what you said to me, where it was like the goal last season, win districts, and then you got the first 11th region win. But this season it was just get better.
Yeah, even last year too, we said that we were going to win district, and that was when I had the first meeting with the administration and with the seniors that year, it was like, we got to win district this year. So I just kind of bought into that, and like, we're going to win district this year. But now for us to compete at the level we want to, our goal just has to be every game, every practice, we're going to be a better team than we were yesterday. And that's why I said I don't think this year region tournament losing is a step back, because if you look at how much we lost off last year's team, and being a school our size, to come back and even be close to the level we were at last year, that shows me that it's working and we are getting better.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming. I wanted to give a shout out for your daughter. she appears on a lot of our recordings after the games. So I'm sorry you couldn't be here today, but she's so cute.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for coming, and we'll be back.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
Welcome back. We have with us Madison Southern soccer players Francisco Aguilar and Sam Lee. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. All right, so they just got off of the first round of the 11th region tournament. Unfortunately, they lost to Dunbar, but you guys are back-to-back district champions for the first time in 16 years. So that's got to be pretty special for you guys. So kind of talk to me about how your team kind of started off the season, and was that kind of in the psyche or in your brains to kind of get that second district championship?
All right. Well, we started off the season pretty slow. We got like two losses, I think, and we got back into things. One of our players got hurt. Everything just went bad at first. He got out the rest of the year, so we were down one of our main strikers. So as soon as we got our heads into it, we started getting better, and we realized our goals, region, district.
Yeah, you kind of went into districts kind of on a hot streak, so you guys were able to kind of get that turnaround pretty good at the end of it. Talk to me a little bit about the Central game. I mean, they came back on you and scored 2 goals to tie it up. What was kind of the feeling on the team at that point?
It was well, we thought we lost, honestly, because like everyone's heads was down, and I mean, coach said it wasn't over. We still had 40 minutes. Anything can happen. We didn't change anything, did we? No, we didn't change much. We just said that we were playing scared, and they were outworking us, because they really were. Like, so second half we come in, put in more effort, and then we score and we win.
I think we have a lot of freshmen playing too, and this is their first ever district championship. A lot of people there, yeah. You can tell most of the guys were nervous that were younger.
And Francisco, you got him the game. You got the game-winning goal.
Oh, yeah.
I think you guys kind of exploded at that point on the field.
Oh, yeah.
I think you jumped like 5 feet into the air.
I mean...
But that's a lot of pressure. I mean, you were always in those situations. I've watched you guys this year, and you're always the one that's like having to take that shot. So kind of take me through that and what was kind of going through.
So we always practice penalties. Like one time when I hurt my hamstring, I was just practicing penalties because, I mean, I couldn't do anything else. So I was confident in penalties, but Central's goalkeeper is humongous, so I didn't know where to hit it because he had such a long reach. So, but I watched him the model game the day before, and I realized he goes low, so I just hit it high, and he couldn't get it when I hit it on him.
Yeah, he was very tall.
Yeah.
Really tall and long. But kind of talk to me a little bit about how Andrew Lunsford came in as a coach last year. How did that impact the program? I mean, that's kind of hard to have a new coach in, but I mean, you having a new coach, but you were able to have historic seasons. So
He came in. He didn't shy away from the competition at the 11th region. He wanted to be here, so we saw that as a huge success for us. We wanted to win.
you guys have a seems like strong leadership within. Obviously, you guys are seniors. Talk to me about that and about leading your team.
Well, we just show it through effort. We don't really talk to them. We just show it, and then they follow with us. Because, I mean, me and Sam, like, we work hard all the time, and they see it. Then when we do, like, a hustle play in the game, they follow us, and then it all starts clicking. So.
Yeah, Pierce Meeks was pretty. I mean, if he had gotten a couple of shots off against Dunbar, it would be a different game.
Yeah.
He was really going at it.
Yeah, he was.
Anybody else on your team that you guys think really stepped up for you this year?
Let's see. I think Jace Durson and
really did.
Hayden Jacobowski.
And then
All the freshmen, basically.
Yeah, everyone stepped up.
Jace had a lot of big plays, assist-wise, where he came in clutch. And then Rue, he kept his cool on the offensive end. And he didn't shy away from contact or anything like that. And Hayden, he was a beast on defense.
Austin, too.
Austin, our goalie, a young keeper.
Yeah.
Austin Shepherd.
And he didn't start. He started 3 games last year because our other keeper wasn't back from
Italy. Yeah.
So that was his first games, and he comes next season as a starter for our team, goalie.
Kind of talk to me a little bit. I mean, Southern kind of, you've had years and years of just being the runner-up or going into falling in the first round of the 44th district. What's the change been like in the culture around the soccer program to kind of, I mean, you're just, for the second year in a row, district champs.
So last year we wanted the districts last year, of course, but this year was different. We said districts wasn't enough. We wanted regions. Unfortunately, we lost, but honestly, districts isn't enough for us anymore. We want more things for the soccer team.
You've got to be enormously proud I mean, you're both seniors, so you'll be gone next year, but you got to be enormously proud of this kind of legacy that you guys have built and left. Kind of talk to me about that and how that feels.
I feel like we set the tone or the bar. We just want our younger guys to push it and go farther than we did, make their career better.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. And congratulations on being back-to-back champions
Thank
and
you.
having another historic season for Madison Southern soccer.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
All right, well, welcome back. We are here with Madison Central girls soccer coach Charlie Hamilton, and we're here to celebrate the season they had. They were the 1-0 win over Madison Southern last week, gave you the 8th consecutive district title for the team. That's an amazing streak. And man, when you guys play Madison Southern in the final every year, it's 1-0 every year.
Every year, it is. You all posted a stat not too long ago that I saw that, and of those 8 years, I think we've played Southern in 7 of those finals, and all of them have been 1-goal games.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And of course, Southern was a little bit young this year. They had some injuries, of course, too, but we all knew it didn't matter when we got over there.
It never matters. It never matters.
That
That's
championship game was going to be nip and tuck, and it came down to 1 PK.
Right. Yeah. And and it's always like that. It's never about talent in a game like that. It's about emotions, and that's kind of what we talked about before the game. Everybody wanted it, but so did they, and so it's just a matter of who kind of handles those emotions, who kind of controls the game, because we know there's going to be ups and downs. I felt like we did a real good job of that the whole 80 minutes of the soccer game. We earned a PK, and then
You put a freshman out there, and she delivered, man.
well, actually, funny story behind that. We've taken a couple PKs this season, not a lot, but we've taken a few. The first time we went into PKs, the only time we went into PKs this year was against Southern in the regular season. So when we earned the PK, Savannah was taken down in the box on a corner, and so we earned the PK, and both my assistants were kind of looking at me. Who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? I said, we're not going to say anything. Let's let them do it. I had 9 seniors on the field at that point, and thought, it's time for a senior leader to step up and do this. And I look up and Callie Lloyd standing at the PK spot, and so that just it says a lot about Callie as an individual, to be able to not only say, hey, I got it, but then to step up and do it. A lot of pressure in that moment. But even more than beyond Callie, it says a lot about my seniors in that moment for them. Any of them could have stepped up and made that PK and been the hero, but they didn't let that moment. They didn't let their individual priorities overtake them in that moment, and they said, Callie gives us our best shot right now to make that PK, and she wants it, so we're going to let her have it. And Callie found the back of the net. So, it was very, very well done all around by the girls on the field that night.
Yeah. I know you were the JV coach for a couple of years, took over for Chris Dunham after 10 years, and the girls just took right to you. I was very struck after you guys lost on Monday night that every one of them came up to you and hugged you, told you they loved you, you told you loved them, and
Chris did a great job for 10 years, and I knew coming in it was going to be massive shoes to fill. He was very successful here. He did lots of great things here, and it was nice having been around the girls for a couple years as the JV coach. A lot of the seniors I actually did not get to coach because they were already at the varsity level when I took over. I did get a chance to coach a few of them my first year there. But yeah, and that's what we've been building on all season, is building this this sense of family within our program, and just creating that bond, because in the end, that's what matters. Do you want to win the district finals? Of course. Do you want to win the region finals? Of course. But in 10, 15, 20 years, we won't look back at that moment and say, oh, remember when Callie made that PK? It'll be, remember that season, remember, everything that we went through that year, especially the beginning of the season. So, the girls really embraced that. They really embraced that sense of family. I think both girls that you'll talk to later, I think, are wearing their family shirts. It was something that was very important to me coming in. And, for that group to just kind of say, yeah, come on, let's do it, made it very easy on me to just step in and do that.
Yeah, and it was kind of a rough start for you guys. You guys lost 4 of your first 6. Obviously, Shelby was out with an injury. You had a couple of girls got a card early in some preseason games, so they couldn't play in the first couple of games. So.
Yeah, they, I laughed with them all the time. Looking back now, we can laugh at it, but at the time, it was kind of like really putting me to the test here these first couple of weeks as head coach. But yeah, we started the season, as you said, had a couple red card issues. Shelby was still recovering from her ACL tear. And then the very first game, we go over to GRC, who is, of course, always good. We're already shorthanded, and we have a player break her wrist, probably in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. So, we had a lot kind of put on our shoulders at the beginning of the season, but 4 of the first 6, I didn't even realize that it was that rocky of a start. But they never quit, they never wavered, and they came to practice and we worked. We changed up some things. I guess probably about midway through that, just kind of some things that we were doing at practice and the way we were practicing and things like that. We just kind of had to sit down and we talked about it, and we changed some things, and it worked out for the better, definitely.
Yeah, Shelby only ends up playing in 12 games, but has 13 goals.
And that's just that's just a testament to how good Shelby is. She works very hard at her craft, and when we got her back, a player like that, a player who can create on her own, a player who can find her own shot. You know, it's kind of very similar to basketball or any sport. You know, when you have a player that looks phenomenal, when you have a good team around her, which we did, but you know, she can create on her own, and her being able to do that really changed our offense, changed our attacking scheme once we got her back. And you know, it opened up things for Tristan Hornsby and Callie Lloyd and Desiree Pruitt and Josie Patrick and all those girls that played up top for us. You know, it really opened things up to them when Shelby came back, because when you have a player like Shelby, defense always has to know where they are. You know, you have to know where Shelby is at all times on the field.
Yeah, and like I said, the freshman Callie Lloyd, she ended up with 9 goals, second most on your team. So you have her for 3 more years. And let's make sure we mentioned Emery Willis, your keeper. She's only a sophomore. She had 6 shutouts.
Yeah.
She played really well Monday night. I got a ton of shots shot at her.
Well, and I told her, and I think you and I talked after the game, but you know, I told Emery, you know, Emery, you know, just shows the competitor she is. You know, she's very hard on herself sometimes. But you know, the girls loved her. The girls always rallied around her. And you know, I told her after Monday night's game, you know, yeah, you gave up 5 goals, but when they take 45 shots, you know, that's a pretty good percentage for you, you know. Yeah. And so, you know, I think it's just hard for them, you know, in soccer, when you look, oh my gosh, I gave up 5 goals, that appears like a lot, you know, at first glance. But for people who know the game, for people who really study it and look at it, go back and you look at that film from Monday night and you think, that game should have been 12 or 13-0 if it wasn't for our goalkeeper. So, yeah, we're very proud of her, very excited for her over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, you did lose, like you said, the 9 seniors, but you do have a good group coming back too.
Yeah, you know, and those seniors, and you're going to talk to 2 of them in a little bit, they were excellent, you know, as I kind of mentioned at the beginning. You know, it's difficult for, as a senior, to have a new head coach come in, and especially new head coach who kind of changes some things that you're used to. You know, Chris and I are very good friends, but Chris and I attack the game very differently in our coaching styles. And, you know, for them to just accept me and work with me, and Savannah and Madison, you know, I made them meet with me on numerous occasions. Hey, let's talk. Where are we? What do we need to do? What's working? What's not working? You know, so it was awesome to, you know, feel accepted and feel that love. And that's what I told them Monday night. You know, I just said, thank you. You know, thank you for making this easy on me, you know, this transition this season. So, you know, it was awesome of them. But yeah, you know, we have, you know, I'm not ready to start looking forward to it yet. We're going to enjoy the success of this season, you know, for at least a little while. But yeah, you know, just at first glance, we do have a very good core coming back. You know, a good, young, solid core coming back. We'll be young. You know, right now, we only have 3 juniors on our roster. So we will be very young, but we'll be talented again.
Yeah, no, it was just very touching watching you hug all those girls, and I was joking with one of the parents was standing back behind me, and we were joking that Jakari McKeithen's about 1.5 feet taller than you.
She is, and she was the first one. You know, at the end of the game, I said, you know, hey, seniors, and I think it was Jenny Jones, I forget who it was, but one of them said, don't say anything that's going to make me cry. And so I said, okay, fair. I said, just know that I love you. And, you know, and we left it at that Monday night, because that's all that needed to be said. You know, we knew we were disappointed in the loss. We knew we wanted more, but we can't let one loss, that result on Monday night, take away from everything we did this season. You know, especially now hearing those numbers, you know, losing 4 of the first 6, and then, you know, not having lost since September 14th. You know, hearing all those things, it really puts into perspective what kind of year we did have.
It was a 10-game unbeaten streak until
definitely.
Lexington Catholic the other night. So, congratulations on a great year.
Thank you very much.
I've appreciated all your help and everything, and congratulations to the girls. It's 8 in a row for the Lady Indians. They'll take their shot at the 9th straight next year.
We will. We'll give it our best shot.
And I'm sure it'll probably be Madison Southern in the final. It'll probably be 1-0 either one way or the other. So, but it's just a great rivalry, and it's so fun to watch. I mean, it's
well, good. I'm glad you all enjoy it. I feel like I'm stressed the whole time.
Well, it's just great crowds. I mean, everybody's into it, and of course,
well, it means a lot. It means a lot to both sides. It means a lot to, you know, I think to everybody involved, and of course, it means a lot, you know, to the coaches and to all of us involved. And everybody wants to win. You know, everybody wants to be a district champion. But you know, I think it says something about both of our programs. You know, both. You know, Coach Kress has done an excellent job at Southern, and I don't know how many years she's been there, but I know she's always in contention, always has a good team, and we're just trying to continue what we're doing, and hopefully that includes several more district championships.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for being
Thank
on the
you.
show. Appreciate it. We'll be right back with Madison Whitaker and Savannah Segler.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
All right, welcome back. We are here with Madison Central girls soccer seniors, Madison Whitaker and Savannah Segler, and they have just wrapped up their 2019 season. They won their 8th consecutive district championship before losing to Lansing Catholic in the first round of the 11th region. Thank you guys both for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We just had Charlie in here talking to him. He was the JV coach for a couple of years, so talk about the transition when he took over. It seems like you guys really embraced him. I know you had Chris for so many years, Coach Duncan, or Dunham for so many years, so kind of talk about Charlie taking over.
The transition was definitely different. Like going into the season, it had us all a bit nervous because you're a senior, you're not used to you want everything to be the same. We wanted to win that district for a 4th year, but he really stepped into Dunham's position and he filled his shoes. He did really well.
So you guys really connected with him too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like are
Coach Dunham and Coach Hamilton are totally different, totally opposite personalities, but both worked. And I love Coach Hamilton. He's really awesome. So I'm glad he was our coach senior year. I wouldn't have wanted anyone else to take over for Coach Dunham either.
Yeah. I know it was kind of a rough start to the season, but you guys did have you had some injuries. I mean, give a kid break her wrist in the very first game of the season. All kinds of stuff like that. But you guys rallied. You won 10. You had a 10-match unbeaten streak there at one point, and kind of what kind of turned it around there? I mean, after you guys lost to Southern in the shootout, you kind of went on that streak there. Was that kind of a turning point for you guys?
Yeah, that definitely made us want it a lot more, I think, because that's happened at least last year, maybe the past 2 years that Southern has beat us in the regular season, and I think that kind of lights a fire in us that we have to work harder if we really want it.
Especially being seniors, you don't really realize the pressure that you have on yourself when you don't want to be that team that gets beat by Southern in districts. It's always a battle. You want to win. You don't want to be that team to lose your 8 streak or 7 streak at the time. You want to be able to carry on that role.
Yeah, I mean, fast forward to the district championship. I mean, it seems like every year it's Central and Southern, and every year it's 1-0, and it seems like it's just an absolute battle out there every year. And I know Southern was down a little bit. They were a younger team this year. They also had some injury problems, but when it comes to district championship time, I mean, it's on and it's intense and it's hard fought.
Yes, for sure.
I mean, what's it like playing in those games? You guys played in 4 of them, obviously.
Oh, yeah, it's so intense. We would like for it to not be as stressful, obviously, but it's a lot of fun, too, to be in, such an important game. And
yeah, then you I always feel nervous before a game, and especially before those games, my nerves really hit me. But I wouldn't trade that feeling for the world because you look back and you're like that always made me a better player. Especially this year, those nerves, like I said, you want to be that team to win. You don't want to be that senior class to lose that 8 streak. But I mean, nerves they pushed us to be a better team, and it's always a good thing.
Yeah, and it came down to one penalty kick, and Coach saying he kind of left it up to you guys, and he said he looked up and there's a freshman, Callie Lloyd, standing out there at the line.
Yeah, we definitely trust her. We are all on such an even level this season. The freshmen to the seniors, we all have the talent that we need to get it done. We just had to figure out how to work together as a team. And I think we finally figured it out as the season progressed, for sure.
Yeah, when we got that call, because Savannah got fouled, I knew Callie was the player that needed to be taking that because she is so composed. She's the most laid-back freshman that I've ever met in my life. She's so laid back, and I just looked at her. I was like, "You got it," and she knew she had the confidence in herself to. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to score against someone who saved half of our penalty kicks last time, and she did it well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had a great mix. You had 9 seniors, but then, like I said, Callie's a freshman. Your keeper, Emery Willis, is a sophomore. So you kind of had a good mix of different.
Yeah, I've been really impressed on how the talent of our freshmen. I haven't, like, my 4 years here, especially, like, once I hit sophomore year, junior year, now senior year, I don't think there's been a freshman class as good as Callie and Sarah, like, this year. They've really stepped up into the varsity position really well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have another special guest with us, don't we? And you're going to have to explain this story to us. For the last couple of years, they've been carrying around this little plastic alien guy with them. His name is Bruno. I don't know what the backstory is. So we're going to let you two young ladies explain to us, and we're going to pull them out here, and we're going to let them explain it and kind of tell what the story behind it is. It's become your unofficial mascot, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is Bruno. He's just been with us for the past 2 years. We play Boondish every year, which is like a little mini tournament we have where we break up into small teams of like 4 or 5, and we do like a tiny tournament where we can be as aggressive as we want, and it's a lot of fun. Really great team bonding. But my team last year was 1 player down from the rest of the teams, and we needed another player. So the junior class first day of school theme last year was Out of This World, so we had a bunch of blow up aliens, and I ended up with one after the first day, and he had just been in my car ever since then. So when we needed an extra player, I pulled him out and I was like, hey, here we go, our team mascot. And then my team ended up doing really well. We won Boondish, and so we thought, let's keep Bruno for districts and see if he can be our good luck charm. He worked last year and this year, so we're gonna keep him on the team for sure.
You have to pass him down. You guys are both seniors.
Definitely, yeah.
Sadly.
So who's gonna inherit that? Have you already picked out someone to give that to?
We're working on it. We haven't figured it out yet, but
Yeah, someone who won't forget him.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
He's been to every game the last 2 years.
he didn't come much to the regular season this year.
Okay.
But
Poor guy.
yeah,
He was busy.
he had to go back to his home planet for a while. But he came back for districts, and he was a good luck.
Well, it obviously worked out for you again. So you need to maybe get him an 8 jersey, then you can get him a 9 jersey.
Oh yeah,
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Nice.
But I appreciate you both being on. Especially I know Savannah, you're still dealing with it. You got a concussion the other night against
Yes.
Lexington Catholic. I know you're still dealing with that, so we appreciate you.
Thank
For
you.
coming in here. I know these lights are probably
Yeah.
not doing great for you right now, but we do appreciate you coming in. Great season for you guys. Unfortunately, it came to an end Monday night, but it doesn't overshadow another 8th straight district title, and just a great season. So we appreciate you guys being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming in. You too, Bruno. We appreciate it.
The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by Nuevo Vallarta, a neighborhood restaurant with indoor and patio seating, a family-friendly environment, and quality, authentic Mexican food at reasonable prices. Nuevo Vallarta.
Almost 2 decades. That's right, I've covered local sports in Madison County for almost 2 decades. The Madison Central Indians, the Madison Southern Eagles, the Model Patriots, the Berea Pirates, the EKU Colonels, and the Berea College Mountaineers. I've covered them all. Football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, track, cheerleading, golf, youth sports, and more. It's all being covered by the Richmond Register. Join us for a brand new weekly sports program. Watch the Richmond Register Sports Show every Thursday at 9 p.m. Be sure to like, share, and follow us on all our social networks, and to subscribe to the Richmond Register online or get your own subscription delivered. If it's sports in Madison County, we cover it.